Today we're on a trip back to Faversham to try a beer that's got quite a bit of history. Hello and welcome to another video on JD's Booze Reviews. Today we are trying 1698, a 6.5% Kentish Strong Ale by Shepherd Neame Brewery. A brewery that I have reviewed on the channel about a month ago, a little bit longer maybe. And yeah, talked about before their Bishop's Finger, which I'll link there. That is one of two, I think, beers of geographical origin in the UK. And this is the other one. So 1698 is a Kentish Ale, which is a Kentish Ale is a designated geographically sort of protected beer style and has to be brewed in a certain way, as already discussed. And this beer, 1698, was brewed in 1998 to celebrate the brewery's Tercentenary, I think, which 300-year anniversary. So 1698, 1998, 300 years. So yeah, this is a little bit stronger than the Bishop's Finger. Going to be kind of similar in style, but I think it might offer a very different flavour profile. So let's get it poured into a glass and see how it tastes. Okay, so here we go. So, from memory, very similar colour to Bishop's Finger. Sort of, copper coloured head as well coming through. Just, in general, a very familiar coloured beer for a beer that is knocking on 27 years now. Very much, again, as I said with the Bishop's Finger video, very traditional beers, very historic beers. So they are going to have sort of a timestamp on the era where beer was at the time, kind of mentioned in the last video as well. So I'll try not to do too many callbacks to the previous video if you want to go and watch it. As I said, I've already linked it up there, so feel free to check it out, where I go into a little bit more detail of sort of the brewery and its geographical status. Quite a nice aroma. It's given me a little bit of Belgian blonde sort of aroma. Like sweet honey malts. Yeah, very, very sweet. A little bit harking back to sort of but the sort of that sort of European style, so sort of Belgian, German sort of stronger beers, especially with the Belgian beer being, sort of not too far away from this. 6.5 is pretty strong, but yeah, Belgian beers at sort of 8-9% as sort of a sort of average is a little bit stronger than this, but I'm getting very similar aroma. This is a bottle conditioned beer, so it has been conditioning whilst it's been sat in my fridge, so it's going to develop them flavours, which is a good thing about bottle conditioning. The head has vanished very quickly though. That is gone almost like the minute or two I've been talking. Anyway, let's give it a try. So yeah, a little bit. I was kind of on the right trail, the right lines. It's got a little bit of Belgian character to it. Sweet, boozy, definitely getting that. Every percentage, every single percent of that 6.5% ABV. That is tasting very, sweet-like, malty, bready, boozy. It is very much Belgian style to me, really. caramel, a little bit of caramelization there, probably with the malts. Yeah, that is a very nice beer. Without a shadow of a doubt, Bishop's Finger did feel very set in its ways, very traditional, very old school. This still has that kind of old school nature to it, but it is old school in the nature of going back to sort of the Belgian style of brewing. Sort of very, again, very historic, very, very, very long history of brewing culture in sort of Belgium. But all the beers do feel not necessarily modern, but they don't feel as old as they are, if that makes sense. And this is very similar. But yeah, 1998 is quite a while ago now. But this is very much, a joy to drink. It doesn't feel fuddy-duddy. It doesn't feel old-fashioned in a way. Whereas, again, I said I'm not going to make comparisons, and I'm making comparisons constantly. But with like Bishop's Finger, that very much took me to a place of like beer in Britain in the 80s, 90s, that kind of thing. I mean, before I could drink, so only from what I've heard. But that takes me to that time, that era, being quite, old and not quite where brewing is now. Whereas this does feel still relevant. I think is the key. And yeah, this is one I choose this every time over Bishop's Finger. Very lovely, biscuity, malty, sweet, boozy, everything you want in a beer. Well, at least everything I want in a beer. And it's got that sort of warming characteristic to it when it's outside being quite warm. Maybe not ideal, but this it's just like having a big big warm blanket wrapped around you with this sort of gorgeous, almost, it's probably the caramel side of it. It feels very sort of toffee burnt, taking you to those sort of times of the year where you're having a toffee apple or a cinder toffee. It's kind of got that characteristic to it. I don't know, beer should be drunk all the time, as we know, but there are definitely beers that suit different times a year than others. And this definitely feels more like a autumn, winter months, cozy and by the campfire sort of vibe. Probably I think I said even similar thoughts in my last video. Shepherd Neame clearly just have a very good way of having very comforting beer. And that's definitely what this is. I mean, for 6.5%, I'm doing a pretty good job of getting down it. So I am going to probably call it there and start slowing down a little bit. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see next reviews when they come out. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers.